Raise for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bow your head for prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the little bit of moisture we had this morning, but we could greatly use some more. And please look out for all the firefighters out fighting fires all over our state, including Hazen and all over county are currently out fighting fires. If you could watch over them and protect them, that'd be great. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen. Amen. Reading and approval of the agenda. Reading and approval of the minutes.
Motion to approve and suspend reading.
Second.
Okay, I've got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approval of agenda. We are gonna strike 5C off the agenda.
We didn't hear anything else on that then?
No, Pat said they're out on break, is that correct, or out of the office?
Lewis Clark, representative is out.
Oh, okay. Then I will make motion to approve the agenda as presented, striking 5C.
Motion,
Second.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Alright. Engineers report.
Jared Bundy, More Engineering, here to present the report. Should have a copy up there. Generally, I just have a couple things. So I'm gonna bounce to number 2 first.
Oh, hey, Jared, we're gonna try and get shit rolling,
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay.
Hello,
President Sherfel, you're on.
I am here.
Okay, we got Jared up here for the engineers report.
So Jared Bundy, More Engineering, here to present the engineer's report this time. Kind of got 2 things on here to bring up and go through. I'm going to start with number 2 first, sanitary sewer improvement project. So I mentioned this is the last meeting. We did the walkthrough, generated punch list. Contractor has agreed to the items and is scheduling the work. We don't have their final schedule yet, but Monty has a copy of that punch list that I mentioned before. There's basically some surfacing, pavement repair items that have to happen there, and once that's done, then we'll close it out and button up this job with funding agency. But I'm not seeking any approvals, just letting you know again that there are items remaining, but the contractor is cooperating very well, and he's scheduling the subs to do that work. Any questions on the sanitary sewer project? No? Okay. As always, if you notice something adjacent to those areas, then let us know or let the city know, and we'll determine if those areas need to be corrected or not. Expedition Estates subdivision, so this is it's a private job being built. The most recent events, a month ago, in order to correct some lingering sanitary sewer issues, the city created an improvement district, directed us to prepare a report on the items and what it takes to correct those issues. The sanitary sewer issues are assumed and straightforward and can be corrected with a number of different ways. That will be within our report very clear. we did hire a sub-consultant, Braun Intertech, to do soil borings in this area, basically with the intent of evaluating what's going on with the roadway and what corrective measures have to be done there. The issue out there is that road has sunk again in the middle. You know, there's a big, it's supposed to be a crown road like this, and it's inverted crown and sunk, settled, trench settlement. So the intent there was to have Braun do the borings. They did 7 soil borings out there. I do not have their final report yet, so I can't complete my report. I would say we're 99% done yet, though. Braun Intertech called us and walked us through the results of the borings. Generally, what they found is that when it was last bored by their company, I can't remember if it was 7 or 8 years ago, things were at a certain percent of compaction, and since that time the road has settled multiple times. The roadway has consolidated some. The top 5 feet of roadway have a very high amount of compaction, and then the area below that is a little less. Like I said, I don't have their final report, but I have their recommendations, and the recommendations, what we were interested in was, does that road have to get removed and that soil recompacted and rebuilt again? Or can the roadway improvements be done with more surface work, you know, leveling course, patching, and, you know, some minor surfacing rather than full reconstruct? And I haven't seen their report again, but what they've told me is that they are going to recommend that the work not be fully excavated again. The sanitary sewer pipe is 20-some feet deep, and in their opinion, the majority of the settlement is now out of that roadway after the, you know, odd 8 years that it's been since this has been built. Their guess is that it's settled somewhere around a foot, because we patched it, I think, 3 different times. And the way it works is that settlement slows down after it gets to a certain point, and they believe that, based on the soil borings, that we've achieved that point where, yes, we may get some settlement out of it, but the majority of the settlement should be out of it. And that's based on the soil borings and the compaction testing that they've run. So our final report most likely is going to be to address the sanitary sewer issues and repair the roadway rather than excavate down and recompact the soil. We think that's the most responsible way to go. Does not mean there won't or couldn't still be some settlement, but based on the soil experts, they believe that's mostly out of it. So I think that's important now, because we form an improvement district and we provide an engineer's opinion of cost, and we, you know, are coming up with a corrective measure. We're very confident that we should be confident that this will correct it and that solve the problem. So I'd say it was money well spent rather than guessing. That it's reasonable to expect that the majority of the settlement is out of it. We still have the sewer issues. We have the squash pipe, we have the separated pipe, we have the sags, we have the, you know, the cracked service lines and all the other problems. And those can be fixed trenchlessly with subgrade or with surface repairs. So I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but when I have Braun's report, I'll insert it and I'll provide you an opinion of cost to correct all of those items. Your next step would be to approve the engineer's report, and if you see fit, to direct us to prepare plans to then correct those issues. But I can't give you a cost tonight until I have the report. It may be just another day, but we're very close. So, questions?
They bored down all the way towards the pipe, all 20 feet-ish.
Yep, they did 7 soil borings along that stretch to evaluate what's going on with that soil. Yep. Questions? I'm a little bit relieved that that's the answer, that this can be done with a trenchless method. sewer pipe is somewhere around 20 feet deep, the water main is only 8 feet deep, so was really not looking forward to digging down and undermining and trying to get underneath the water main and service lines. It's a dangerous situation, so it's still gonna be expensive. You know, we'll provide the engineer's opinion of cost and recommendation, but it will be way cheaper than having to re-excavate the entire thing. So, I guess, that's my update, and I hope to have a signed engineer's report too in just a couple days. We can address what you wanna do at that point, how fast you wanna move, but we'll have some recommendations along with that at that point. Any questions? No? No? Otherwise, just a couple quick updates. We're gonna be filling out DWSRF questionnaires for you here in just a couple weeks. I think that guidance came out from the state. They're seeking needs from communities to try and evaluate the needs within the state. We do that with you guys every year. There will be some potential funding program deadlines in the fall, like there always is. You know, we spent an hour going through the capital improvement plan needs with most of you the other night. Those that missed that, be happy to sit down and go through that again some afternoon or morning or evening. We did it via Zoom, so it doesn't have to take up a ton of time. It can be done in an hour. I might reach out to you guys to see if we can't do that. We'll be updating. In order to update the plan, I think we should have a vote to update anything. There's some projects that should get added, there's some that should get deleted, there's some that should slide down the list, and some that need some cost changes. But rather than bringing you a corrected list, I'd like to just take one more hour with those two that missed the first discussion, and then ask you then to vote together to make any changes if you see fit. So. Any other questions? Okay. That's all I got.
Thank you, Jared.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. I'll stay on that real quick. I'd like to make a motion to lift that moratorium that was put in place on,
Well, we're gonna go,
Yeah.
we're gonna go to 5B here.
am I skipping ahead?
5B, expedition estates.
We're on the engineer's report now.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Getting ahead of
All right,
myself.
now, 5B, expedition estates. As is brought up in public comments last meeting by Mr. Langowski, that we did talk about lifting the moratorium after we set up the district and got some answers. We have answers now, not 100%, but now if you wanna.
Now I'd like to make a motion to lift the building moratorium that we had put in place or voted in place on, was that May 4th? I think.
And I will second.
All right, motion by Mr. Folker and second by the president. Discussion. Hearing no
So
discussion.
I'm just wondering, I guess, like, why the change now, I guess? No, we don't even, I guess, know yet. You know, I guess what our share is gonna be on this, you know, I don't know why the heck that, I guess, we want to do this project. You know. I guess why that we're doing the project, so that then so that then, I guess, the out of state, then I guess, out of state, I guess, a contractor here is able to make money.
So, I mean, I don't know what's the alternative at this point? We just sit on it, we lose potential building here, I mean, we lose, bringing families into the community, and everything that goes with that. We're gonna have to, the sewer's gonna have to get fixed regardless. And I think Williams Builders, I think we want the same thing. I think we're all just, we're on different pages, but we want the same thing. He wants to build houses and they wanna do their business here. and we want houses built, and we want, you know, all the subsequent that comes with that. I just don't see what an alternative is. If we keep the moratorium in place, there's just gonna be more and more people just looking elsewhere. I mean, they're looking at putting a development in, if that's not already going, in Beulah, that, you know, we're just gonna lose the opportunity, I think.
Even if though, I mean, like he though just wants to build, I would think though, you know, that then I guess he needs to straighten out, then I guess mess.
I couldn't agree with you more. I wish that were the case. But I don't think that's what we're dealing with. And that's the unfortunate part. We're at a stalemate, I think.
So correct me if I'm wrong, Casey, but the way these projects work is we set up the district, right? And then it gets accessed to the property owners according to this special assessment committee. And then we generally buy it down with sales tax dollars, correct?
Yeah.
But we also have the option of not buying it down with sales tax dollars. Am I right on that, or do we not have an option of backing out on that?
No, you're right, there's just a cap on
Okay,
what you could
that's
spend.
what I'm thinking. So if we wanted to, going back to what you just stated, our share of it, we could pass all that back to the property owners if we wanted to. You know, obviously, come from a roll call vote from the committee. So there could be no money from the city involved into that project. It could be 100% assessed, if we wanted to go that route.
Because the city has the ability, so basically to pitch in, essentially, right?
So generally, when we do projects like that, we'll take the alley project. When we did the alley projects, it got assessed, and we put, based off the dollar amount, the higher the dollar amount the project is, the lower the percentage that we buy down. It's kind of, doesn't really make sense, but you're still putting more money to it, it's
Yeah.
just less percent. And I don't remember off the top of my head what we do, and that comes out of the sales tax dollars.
Okay.
So a couple of years ago, we redid the percentages, and it's kind of all laid out based on
Yeah,
how expensive the cost is.
Right, I think we remember this.
I just wasn't sure if we had the option to say, no, we don't want to use sales tax dollars to buy that project down or not, according to what Mr.
Okay.
said we do. So if we wanted to pass 100% of that project on to the property owners, we could. The bad thing is the previous property owners could get hit with a bill, not just the empty ones. That we're not sure. That would be up to the special assessment committee and ultimately us, because it does come to us after they make their decision.
Yeah.
And we have no idea until after the project's complete of how that's gonna all break down. If I remember right, it goes to the committee after it's all complete, right?
Correct.
Yeah, after it's done.
That's right.
Assessment. Monty, do you remember what that cap was? I don't.
Well, it's basically, I think we had set it 0 to 250,000. Our guideline was 20%, 250,000 to 500,000 was 15%, and anything over 500,000 was 10% is kind of the guideline that was adopted. But again, like you said, you don't have to do any.
Right.
Jared, do we have any remote estimate out there? Obviously, you're not gonna be even getting close, but are we talking a couple million? Are we talking
No,
couple hundred
I
thousand?
I don't wanna commit to a number yet, but I'm gonna be vague. Between 500,000 and $1 million it seems reasonable. It could be less, but I'll know that in just a couple days.
Question back to-
Could you guys do approve this project, is this coming out of the current sales tax of the town, or would you be adding another sales tax on?
Comes out of the current, kitty that's already there for the sales tax dollars.
And the benefit, the special assessment committee assesses according to the benefit to the property.
Correct.
So it's based on, it has to be tied to how the property itself benefits, not how the individuals.
But I mean, is the benefit, is that a subjective thing, or is there an objective test? I mean, honestly, is there an objective test to determine whether or not a property benefits more so than the other, or is it somewhat subjective?
It's up to that committee,
Okay.
they decide,
Okay.
yeah. But on Main Street, for example, probably everybody in the community benefits, and might benefit
Makes sense.
pretty much equally.
Sure.
In a special area, might be more, they might weigh it more towards the property owners there than the ones that are included in the special assessment district.
Sure.
And even on the fringes, when we did the one like at West River Post Office alleyway, you know, there were some compelling arguments as to why some people didn't really, their property didn't receive the same benefit.
Sure.
If I remember right, there was 2 houses on that project that didn't touch the alley at all, and they did get some assessment.
Okay.
Not near what the ones that were touching the alley got,
Right.
they did get some.
Okay.
And obviously West River took the biggest brunt of that project.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? Casey?
I just don't know, I guess, why the heck that we're doing this, but so it goes.
Okay, so we got a motion, we got a second for the lift the moratorium. Roll call.
Folkerts,
Aye.
Shefferle,
Aye.
Hack,
Aye.
Stern,
No,
Weidrich.
Aye. Motion passes. All right. 6A, street closure, Harvest Fest. Antoinette, you wanna head this one up?
So this year our Harvest Fest is September 24th through the 27th, and we'll have 7th Street northeast to 4th Avenue down in Maine on Friday, just for the parade at 1:30. In conjunction this year with homecoming, and then Saturday you'll see we'll have just over here by the Waterworks building, just in this little area, down to Central and over. We're not going all the way down like we have in the past. So, it's basically just for Saturday. We'll move the barricades and everything that night, and that's really it in a nutshell. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. I do have a tent here. Whoops, didn't even touch that. Just wondering if we are allowed to have a tent again, if we can. They did a really nice job patching it all in with the asphalt or whatever they did. We haven't quite decided what we're going to do at this point, if we're having one. It takes a lot of people to put those in, and we just don't have the manpower for it. So again, basically it's tractor pull, so your waterworks area. We're going to use the fence area there for the dash on dash, and that's it. Questions, comments?
I have a question after that. So the tent used to be, well, was on the vendor side, not the stage side before. Am I correct?
Yeah, it's right here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, the vendors will be like your,
yeah.
they will be here by the
But-
stage.
The tent.
Oh, so it's gonna be on the back side of the stage now?
It's just gonna be in the middle. The stage is gonna be over here in front of the pocket park. The chamber is working into getting, help me out here, 220
Oh,
stick thing put in there, so
Okay,
that we can have.
okay.
The reason is now, the chamber is not putting on a street dance. The street dance is now being sponsored by 3 businesses. And they will be Sassy buys it in boxes, and so the stage they would like here, and you know, we need the stage too during the day. So, we haven't decided on a tent. I personally don't want a tent because it's a lot of work, but it does make it nice for, those who are tenting. The motorcycle show will be down at this little area here where the parking lot is by the tattoo shop, so.
I'm assuming they want the tent closer so
Just a place
the
for,
stage crowd can sit under the tent
yeah,
instead of way
kind of like
out.
how we had it in the middle before, remember when Hairball was here?
Right.
Yeah. So,
Are they running the stage on the street? I'm
yes,
assuming?
it's
Okay.
gonna be the semi truck.
So it's gonna run like this, not
It'll
like
be
this?
east and west a little bit.
Okay, okay.
A little different, but
I'll make a motion to approve the street closure and, and a motion, I don't know, do we need a motion for this, for the tent, the stakes in the street?
Let's see, just add that they can do.
Yeah,
If they
Yep.
decide to.
Okay, I'll do that, with the addition of the tent, if that's what they decide to do.
Got a motion by Mr. Folkers,
Second.
and a second. Discussion?
Dave, there was no, was there any issues with it last time? Okay.
Well, the whole sealed up really nice.
Okay.
Did you guys patch them? They had it
So
through
they,
patch?
yeah, they took care of that themselves.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
I,
Aye.
Alright. Moving on. 8A, option to purchase real estate.
Couple meetings ago, uh, a lot in this same area was purchased. Up behind those townhouses. This lot was purchased about a month ago by a party. We now have the option to purchase by Yatsa Enterprises, the back keys for this lot, where they would like to put a garage eventually.
What's their access to it?
I discussed that with Mr. Clavundi before the meeting. There is a 10-foot easement along here that our recommendation to them would be to request an ingress egress easement in that same area. Otherwise, they would have to go basically right beside their building would be an option.
So they own.
Yeah, they own,
both
they
those
own
buildings.
those townhouses, yeah.
they own them all.
So they could send themselves an easement between them if they wanted.
Yeah,
Cause that's a drainage ditch to the west.
this is a platted drainage way, yes. But there is room here, like I say, there's a 10-foot easement there right now, so, for utility.
This is on Divide, right?
Correct.
Okay,
North of the line.
North.
on the north side, right? Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Did they own that other one to the east of there too?
This one?
Yeah. Or was that?
No,
a
that's the
different
one
person?
purchased by, a couple, like a month ago.
And you said on the west side, that's an is there,
This is a drainage way, and there's a
Yep.
10-foot easement along this property line.
I'd like to see if they could put it between their buildings instead of 10 feet. I mean, 10 feet is 10 feet, but in case we, which, God, I hope we ever have some flooding because we're dry right now, but getting close to that 10-foot easement and then wash it out, I don't know. If that will get that close to washing, I really don't know.
Have we ever had water coming through there recently at all?
When the water tower,
Well, the doing that leaked, yeah, that's right. Forgot about that. Yeah.
I would imagine a bad snow year, that's gotta run through there pretty good too, coming down that hill.
I mean, it would take a heck of a lot, you guys, cause that year, Dave, that we were behind on the east side digging that ditch out, cause it was
Yeah,
flooded
behind
back.
my area, yeah.
Yeah, back flooding. There was a lot of water running that year.
But you are also talking just a road there too,
Right.
be their responsibility,
Yeah.
right? I will make a motion to approve the purchase.
Second.
Alright, we got a motion, we got a second, discussion?
Who owns the drainage ditch? Is that a dedicated,
It's a platted,
it's a flat, it's
Yeah, it's-
dedicated to the public?
correct. Yes.
See any issue with that, Pat? No?
Not for a sale. They might have an issue with it. Yeah.
Alright, we got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Weidrich.
Aye.
Folker.
Aye.
Hack.
Aye.
Stern.
Aye.
Shifro.
Aye.
Motion approved. Alright, Hazen Winter Sports would like to add gaming to the small hall. Joe?
Yeah, here. Yeah, the Sassy Sasquatch has their liquor license from the state now, so they can legally have gaming in their place, and they came to Hazen Winter Sports and have signed an agreement with us that we will provide gaming for them. We're looking at some electronic pull tab machines and a paper pull tab machine. And part of that process is the council granting their approval, and then I submit it to the state. And depending on how long the state takes, we're hoping, we're hoping around the 1st of September, mid-September, that licensing and everything will be in place to put these machines in. State law says we cannot even place the machines on site. Just have them sitting there turned off. That can't happen. We have to have the licensing from the state in place before they can even be brought on site. So, but once we get approval from the state, it doesn't take long for that to happen. The biggest dependence, of course, is the state and how far behind they are, or how quick they move. But yeah, we need your approval to do that. Any questions?
So moved.
Got a motion
Second.
and a second, discussion?
I will be recusing myself from this vote.
Monty, I got a quick question. Do we need to have check marked on there what they're gonna provide?
Yes, I have that information.
Thank you.
Do you want a roll call on this, Monty, or just a? Alright, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you once again, and I'll grab that from you in a couple of days, Monty. Hi, everybody.
Thank you.
Alright, on to reports. Mr. Stern?
Nope. Not anything.
Alright, streets, Mr. Hack?
I got nothing at this time. You'll talk about what we've talked before.
Yep.
Your report.
Alright, finance and busing, library, Mr. Polters?
Okay, so previously, we kind of briefly touched on it. Regarding the wages, transit, and city holders and all that stuff. So I've been mulling it over a little bit more. I would like to make a motion to increase the director's salary to $27 per hour, and the remaining transit staff, I'd like to increase their wages by $1 an hour. So I'll make that motion.
Second. We got a motion, we got a second, discussion?
I was just curious, I guess when this is gonna start.
Yep, that's, I'm open to that, that's good. Does it matter on your end, Monty? Would it be easier, would it make more sense for you? I mean, immediately, I guess, I don't know, what do you guys think?
What are they, what is it currently at?
20, what were you at?
22.
I personally would like to see it sooner than later.
Yeah, I'd make the motion to, be in effect immediately.
So, last year when we redid all the salaries in the city, I brought it up that the busing department, if you looked at it, a CDL bus driver gets paid less than a non-CDL public works person. Which I understand they physically don't work as hard, but they are also required to carry a special license. Which I didn't exactly agree with it at that time. I thought they should be pretty much equivalent. With it being such a pain to get CDLs nowadays, Sonny's going through that right now, trying to get, Mr. Morgan his license, and it is absolute pain. If we don't pay our bus drivers decent, I feel like we're not gonna get any anymore. It's hard enough getting them now.
I mean, there's plenty of CDL jobs, I mean, that's just it.
I like my two that I have, let's keep them.
Yeah, trying.
You know, ironically too, the more drivers we have, the more opportunity we can serve the public. Therefore, that also creates revenue to help offset that. And I agree with Dustin and Jesse, and the wages that they are currently earning is below I guess you'd say competitors or other companies, and I feel like it needs to be a little bit, no, it doesn't need to be, maybe we can't do equal, but at least we can help with that.
So I'm just wondering, I guess why now, you know, not wait, you know, until it's in the budget, you know, I guess.
Well, I had that discussion with Monty, and, it's something that's doable now. It's just something that's been brought up as topic for the past couple months now. It's just time to just get it taken care of, I think. That's why it's all set.
I agree.
We're good, Monty? If we did it now?
We'll make it work.
Okay.
Might have to change the fees.
And we talked about that too, back, I remember doing that too, if we have to go up with the fees or.
We did, and with school starting the end of the month, we did talk last year about reevaluating after the school year. Could you put numbers together for us for next meeting to see how it how going up last year worked?
Yep.
Versus our potentially new pay raises also?
Yeah,
Bring that back at
Yep.
the next meeting. I know, I do remember talking about that we reevaluated, cause I believe Mr. Stern wanted to go up higher than we actually did,
Yeah, that's right.
and we just started lower to
Yep.
see how it worked out.
and if we have a decision on the 17th, that's right before school, so, week of school.
Alright, so we got a motion, we got a second? Roll call?
Folkerts,
Aye.
Weider,
Aye.
Hack,
Aye,
Stern,
Aye.
Shipro.
Aye.
Motion passed. Anything else?
I have nothing else at this time.
Alright, we move on to police, fire, and forestry. I got run reports for the calls to service for the police department. Officer Burkestead had 8. Sergeant Melberg had 49, Officer Melberg had 61, and Chief Wolf had 41. That's all I got for I do have a couple complaints for the police department. I'll have Monty put them in your guys' mailbox, so you guys can read them. They got emailed to me in the last couple weeks. And then moving on to nothing under fire right now, moving on to forestry. A couple weeks ago, I was gonna try to burn the tree pile. If you've seen that, we closed it there. But the day before I was gonna burn it, the afternoon before, they put us under a burn restriction, so I was not able to burn. And after talking to Chief Beery, he thinks we're gonna have to wait till winter. Now, with it getting this dry, unless we get a bunch of rain between now and then. Did talk to Dave before the meeting, that wood chip pile that's there, more than likely will get lit up, because it'll be that hot for that long to start a fire, same with those other logs. So Dave was gonna attempt to move some of the wood chips, but I think we need to start a second pile and just lock that area. After talking to Chief Beery, it's probably gonna wreck that fence the way it is. It's gonna get that fence so hot that the tensile strength's not gonna be there anymore. Not that it's gonna melt it per se, but it'll just temper it. And we'll probably burn up some of the grass in that pasture there too, depending on, maybe not, if we have a foot of snow, obviously not, but from the weather reports I've been seeing, don't look good on the snow side for this winter either. So I would like to see a second pile started by the reclaim pile somewhere, and Mr. Schurz will find out we do not need a special permit to burn in place there. So we can burn it right in place there, and we'll just have to scoop up the ashes after we burn it, haul it out to, and just lock the other one so people can't dump there.
I would rather just have, I guess, I guess, one pile. And if the trees that we have now and stuff, that just, they can go out in the dump, instead of, second pile.
Monty, who owns that pasture?
I believe that's still John Heine.
So you're saying just shut it down completely and then they can just take it out to the land? I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I would just that, yeah.
Well, that's an option too, we can
Yeah.
go that road until we can burn it. Having a second pile really is not gonna cost us any more money. Be acting as the only pile we have, cause the other one will be locked down. I know before we were told we had to have a special permit to create a second burn site, but we don't. So we could burn it in place, and then it's the same scooping up the ashes and hauling it away after it burns.
Does anybody feel if we did a second pile, or, excuse me, back up, if we locked it up and kept one pile, do we think that people are gonna start dumping tree piles in the ditch anywhere they want? That's, I guess, my fear.
Are you talking like on site, or if we get rid of the tree dump, is it?
Well, we
That won't
just,
stop
like
it,
Casey
no.
said, we just keep the one pile, we lock it up.
Yeah, what's gonna be the outcome of that? Yeah.
But yeah, are we gonna have piles in the ditches there? Are we gonna have piles? Are we gonna have branches in the I don't know, in the grass clipping area? I don't really know.
I see what you're saying. There's been rumor, and it's been nothing but rumor, it seems like, but are they gonna be raising the tipping fees at the landfill for, does anybody know? Cause I could see that being a potential.
I do know it would pose a little bit of an issue with some people since the landfill closes at 4:30.
That's true.
And, well, I think our last load is actually 4 o'clock or 3:45.
Quarter to four.
Quarter to 4. Well, most people don't get off till 5 or later, so it's
A lot of
You gotta take vacation just to go to the landfill to dump your trees.
And they're only open every, what is it, first and third Saturday of the month?
Yeah,
Or no,
they were
they're
open
not.
on Saturdays.
Yeah,
I didn't know they were open on
At all. I
Saturdays.
think that's Beulah's transfer station is, but that's just for Beulah residents.
Okay.
I personally like to see a second pile. I think we'd be doing a disservice to our city members by completely shutting it down and forcing them to haul it to the landfill when it's really not gonna cost us any more money. Let's start a second pile.
And honestly, I mean, I think if this is like one of those hopefully one-time things, right? Because I mean, the reason we have so many trees there is because that ridiculous storm that came through.
Well,
So
I've
it's
been-
not like this will have to be an all-the-time thing, I don't think, right?
I've been on the fire department for, I wanna say 14 years now, and kind of the whole time I've been in controlled burn, and I've never seen that pile even remotely
Yeah.
this size before. You know, not, I mean, it's been big before, but not even close.
It's dense too. It's,
Yeah, Dave's guys did a really good job of trying to pile it as high as possible. Without bigger loaders, you can't go up any higher.
Did we purchase that land from that guy? And that was quite a while ago, if I remember right.
you talking this current tree site?
Yeah. I guess that's my biggest downfall is I wouldn't have a problem locking it up, but then the problem is where are we gonna have tree branches
Well, yeah.
sitting?
Let's just say that I think it's,
That's my, you know,
and you're right, I'm with you on that.
and we talked about it last meeting about having, not being able to have dedicated people and paying them to sit out there and mount, you know, police it and.
I know for me personally, the thought of having to try and get to the dump at, you know, it's gotta be scheduled into my weeks out in advance.
Yeah.
And with trees and stuff like that, it's just not necessarily doable, and I mean, it makes sense where you're coming from, but at the same rate, like
And I know there's out of town people dumping trees, branches, grass clippings, but we really don't have a controlled area with fence, you know?
And yes, they are bringing them in from out of town, but how many of those people shop in town too?
Yeah.
You know, they come in, they might go to Senex or the Hub and get fuel or a sandwich or something to drink. I mean, you are getting tax dollars off of that too. You know, how many of them from the near community come in and shop at their local grocery store? You know, the hardware store, you know. So you are, they may not directly be paying property tax to the city, but they're still supporting the community and keeping these businesses going.
Well, but on that same note, though, you know, if I go out to the in the Mercer County, I guess, you know, I guess landfill, you know, I guess, you know, what I pay, then I guess, you know, county tax and stuff, I still then I just need to pay though, on the dumping fees, you know, so.
President Triple, you got anything on this?
I guess I'm kind of stuck. Also, I understand what Casey's saying. I get it. It's a service the city has provided for a long time. I agree that if we close that area off and don't provide another option, human behavior is that they're going to put it somewhere. Whether we start another pile or whether they put it in the ditch or wherever else, our city employees are gonna have to deal with it no matter what. don't, it's gonna be more work no matter what. We could try it without having a second pile and see what happens, just get the feedback. But is that something that should be necessary to do, just to try something? I'm not sure. I guess I said a while ago, after that storm and that pile got big, that we would have to do another pile, and that's why I looked into it about the permit. I agree with you, Dustin, also, like people come into town just because they're not, you know, they don't pay city taxes, but they do provide, you know, a tax by what they buy. I'm kind of in the middle a little bit, but I definitely just don't want to yank it out. That's without some kind of, you know, process to kind of, same with like the garbage service, which I'm sure we're going to visit about, but at least some kind of notice to the public. And again, back to whether they dump in the ditch or in front of where the old pile is, or over by the grass clippings, it's probably going to happen. So I guess how we want to deal with that in the future, I feel like a second pile is probably the best way for now, and then we can approach it later. I'm not comfortable with commercial dumping. I'm not comfortable with large loads from out of town that had, you know, put us in this situation. I do believe it needs to be addressed appropriately in the future. But for now, I'm feeling like, because the city workers are going to have to deal with it no matter what, I think a second pile would have to work out for now.
I'm with you on that. Yeah, because I wanted to reiterate that just because people come and spend tax money here, on the way into town, they dump stuff at the tree dump, and then they stop by the grocery store, gas station. That's not an invitation for all the town people to come and use our tree dump. It's a service for our residents. And maybe this is an opportunity to kind of monitor, fresh start, monitor maybe who's coming in, who's dumping it. If we put up a sign stating, because it's already an ordinance, right? As far as who can dump there and who can't. I'm assuming at this point, I don't know if there's something close or not. There's no ordinance, okay.
No.
Maybe that's something we visit, and, well, that'll be down the road, but.
Well, there would have to be an ordinance.
I thought there was,
There
'cause
is
there's a
fine
fine.
associated with it,
Or is that,
up to $1,500.
well, let's just say, if there is an ordinance, let's just say
I've seen that. but
let's just say there is, then maybe we throw the sign up there advertising as such, and there's a multitude of different types of camera opportunities out there that we could maybe take advantage of. And if you're found to be dumping out there, and we got you on camera, and we will address it with you. I don't know, that's just an idea.
So I'll make a motion to start a second tree pile. Casey. Oh, sorry, Tim.
Well, I know that there's still a lot of residents in town that haven't had a chance to deal with their fallen trees. So, you know, just something to think about, that we still do need a place for our residents to dump our trees. People who are out of town, normally they have a lot of property, right? So they could be doing control burns on their property. And then the other towns, I know Stan for sure, Beulah, they have a place to dump their tree limbs. So I don't see the need to try to accommodate people from out of town. And like I said, most people who live out of town have their own property. I do agree though, that when they come into town, they use, you know, they spend money. So that part does come back to the community, but I do still know a lot of people in town who need to dump their trees and aren't able to right now.
So I'll make a motion to start a second tree pile over by the reclaim pile. And then bring it back at next meeting and put it on the agenda to come up with an actual policy dealing with the commercial. Cause I do agree with the commercial guys, you know, they're getting paid to haul it away, but then they're dumping it for free, you know. just reiterate that portion of it.
I'll second.
We got a motion and a second, discussion?
Monty, with our commercial guys, tree cutters, sorry, is there a permit that they are supposed to purchase within the city of Hazen
Yes.
for business?
Yes.
But are they allowed to take, trees they do in the city out there? Or are we just saying no commercial?
That's what I'd like to bring it back
Well,
at the next meeting. We can hash that out at the next meeting.
Cause, yeah,
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye.
Opposed?
they,
Motion passes. I don't have anything else. Antoinette, HCD?
Just, if you haven't heard, the latest news magazine has ranked North Dakota the fourth best state. And, in areas such as number 2 in employment, 3 in fiscal stability, 5 in energy, and 7 in both infrastructure and opportunity. So there are businesses and companies out there that we know that want to come to North Dakota and make decisions with the North Dakota Department of Commerce. And last year, North Dakota was number 12, and so this year we have jumped up to number 4. And one thing, as we know, is companies will go elsewhere if they cannot work with people. And it seems that companies are able to work with us, with the state. So that has a lot to do with legislation, with fiscal management, and with city leaders and federal. So thank you for your guys' help on that. And that's all I really have. Nothing new yet from 2 weeks ago. So that's all I have.
Okay. Mr. President?
I don't have anything.
Okay. Moving on to 11, old business, appointments and portfolio assessments. Let's take appointments first. So I'd like to make a motion to appoint all department heads except for Chief Wolf, which we have put on for probationary period until the first meeting in January, and reassess whether we want to appoint him back as chief at that time.
you got that written down, Monty, do you wanna read that back, please?
What I got is appoint all department heads with the exception of Chief Wolf with a probationary period and reevaluation on January 1.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, discussion?
Is there an assistant or deputy, or I'm not sure what you call
There
it
is
by the border?
There is a
Okay.
sergeant on the department. So that would be the second in command.
so I was just wondering as why, or what came about, or,
So. I don't really know how.
I think some of this, we need to be a little bit careful, because it
Yes,
possibly we could need to go into executive session to talk about employee performance or behavior.
yes, that, there's been some lack of responsibility and lack of policing, in my opinion, that has been going on for years, and I have been trying to get it corrected, and it seems like the more I push to get it corrected, the more pushback and resistance I get, and nothing seems to change or get resolved. I would like to see a more proactive police department instead of a reactive police department that judging by these calls to service, that we are a reactive department, not a proactive department. So that's why I'd like to put him on as probation, where we could maybe get him in some leadership classes and get him some training to help improve him as being a leader of the department.
Even though I don't know what's going on, but I don't think that, I mean, like, this is the route to go.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Weidrich,
Aye.
Hack,
I,
Folkerts,
Aye.
Stern,
No,
Shepherd.
Aye.
Motion passes. Portfolio assignments. I don't know how the rest of the board wants to do it, if anybody wants to change portfolios at all. Or if everybody is okay with staying the way they are.
I don't know, Sonny, are you sick of me yet?
No.
Okay.
Mr. Stern?
I make a motion to keep them the same.
A motion,
Second.
second. And a roll call on that.
No.
All in favor, say aye.
I,
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Moving on, B, hydropower proposal. Survey. Garrett?
So last commission meeting, you guys asked me to get some references from other systems of similar size. What they thought about of HydroCorp and her services provided by them. And they gave me a list of 10 communities they serve about the size of Hazen. I managed to get meetings with 4 of them, and I didn't hear anything that would make me wary of working with them, or that everyone seemed very happy with the services they provide. They are not, none of them are from North Dakota. We'd actually be the first state that this company handles, and or first city in the state that this company would handle. I'm guessing that's just because this is handled on a state level. The directories come from the EPA and then they hand it off to the states who have to. So other states are more strict than what the EPA even puts out. So I'm guessing a lot of that is North Dakota is you doing the bare minimum, and other states are actually requiring more comprehensive backflow programs. So they haven't had a large amount of success in finding people who want to be proactive at just the city level and take it over. But I don't have anything that, no real concerns or anything I presented as concerns or questions to the individuals who work with them had nothing negative to say on those points.
Did they talk about whether they believe that the money was well spent?
So I asked them if they thought what they thought for cost versus return, and the consensus was, especially when you're about our size, these guys provide so much that the price ends up being worth it in the long run. It is a investment, but it's an investment in health and the future of your community.
Was this something that we would potentially have to visit, create ordinances involving something like this, or?
I would say not just for the study.
Well, I mean, yeah.
If you were implementing what the study came up with,
Yeah.
you might.
Yeah.
So ordinances can be created around how we want to handle anything going on in the future. As of right now, it is just basically outsourcing something I can't handle with a 2-person crew. And then moving forward, this company also helps create said ordinances for enforcing anything we decided to do in the future. So they also provide assistances in basically every aspect of this process. It's basically, it really is an all-encompassing agreement, partnership that we'll be agreeing to.
And the reason I bring the ordinancing up is because we're all far aware of how tricky things can be, especially if you're gonna be pioneering something in the state as far as create a specific ordinance that not everybody or most of everybody, kind of has in place. That kind of makes me weary, but.
I am comfortable with the expertise that they'd be able to bring to the table to assist us in putting in rules that make sense for us and based on people they've already worked with, and anything that we bring up as concerns to them, they should be able to help us through that process efficiently. Additionally, we do have a backflow prevention ordinance. It is one line and it says all homes must have a backflow preventer.
It does say that. Yeah.
It's never been enforced and definitely would need to be done for updating, especially now that we are looking at, if we do go with doing more comprehensive preventative measures.
So in years past,
So-
go ahead, Jesse.
Oh, go ahead. Okay, so at first, when this was first brought up, I was not supportive at all. But I did do my own research, and I did talk to a few engineers, and overwhelmingly, they all said it was more than a good idea, which really surprised me with the possible cost that could be turned on to the citizen, in the water bills and stuff. And I guess that was my biggest concern, is if there was an actual need, and with the cost, the additional cost per citizen. I guess that really kind of changed my mind on that. I understand that we need to have as much information as we can get to start this, but I'm concerned about the cost of the study, just to say, yeah, we should have backflow preventers, I guess. Or should we spend this money to do a survey to, in the end, to say, oh yeah, let's get backflow preventers?
So that might be a little bit of my fault for presenting it as a survey in the first meeting or so. It is more than a survey. A survey is the big part of what they do. After that, they continue to maintain our records, help us stay in compliance, allow us, and they, like I said, they'll help us with the ordinances. And then on top of that, they also will do basically all the enforcing for us, enforcing as far as making sure things are getting put in and meeting what we agreed with upon. We obviously handle anything as where this guy isn't cooperating or we're actually having an issue somewhere. But this is really pulled as more as a full service partnership with the city of Hazen, more so than a $150,000 survey and then we're left high and dry without knowing what to do. These guys are really our partner in this program, and they will continue to be so long as we maintain a service agreement with them.
I guess I agree with Jesse, but a couple concerns off the cuff being in previous sales. We have not seen or heard, to my knowledge, from anyone at HydroCorp. Jared is with the city of Hazen, not with HydroCorp. Jared's doing more work for these guys than he is for them. Number one, we appreciate all your expertise on it, Jared, but I'm the type where I'd like to hear from the experts. Saying you're not the actual expert. And then secondly, I'm not totally against it, but and I don't know if it's because of our new technology coming in, but how many years have we done this without? And I don't really know how we done it in the past. I really don't know, Jared's been to the last 3, 4, 5 meetings. And Monty, have you heard from these guys?
Yes.
Okay,
Jared
have they ever
Jared
offered,
meets with them monthly.
okay, have they ever offered to ever offered to come up and do a dog and pony it with us? No?
So, I've been just running in between for you guys. Casey did attend a meeting,
Okay.
a meeting with them along with Monty, an initial meeting. From there, I've been then doing jockey for
Gotcha.
everybody, just to make things simpler.
Okay.
They would love to have everyone for a meeting. They have no problem for it. They have a special slideshow for people that aren't as involved every day and everything. Like, they do this all the time. They'd be happy to do a dog and pony show for you guys on why this is important, exactly what they do, et cetera, et cetera. And on a side note, you asked how we got by. Well, the thing is, the idea is we're getting lucky, is the idea. Especially with our new meters, they record all backwards flow to the meter. I can pull up a number of meters and they will have some amount of backflow in them. Even if it's only to a couple gallons, so you know what's happening. It only takes one event to contaminate the system or a section of system.
And that's why I asked the question, now I'm hearing that these new meters do a lot more than
Yes.
what the Joe citizen probably knows they do,
And it's not like it's tracking anything that's like someone's fault, but it just is another point of information to, hey, these meters actually are showing that we have backflow in the system happening. So we can't say it's not happening, it's definitely happening.
It's just gone unnoticed.
It's just been ignored, and it seems like it's something that's very easy to ignore, because most of the time, it's not hurting anything. The water that went in is the water that came out. It hadn't touched anything else yet. That's the whole thing where we have high risk water individuals and low risk. Some places are way more likely. Some systems, like for example, anywhere that has a fire suppression system tends to be a higher risk. They have to have backflow preventers on the fire suppression systems, kind of thing. And there's special kinds of backflow preventers for special kinds of infrastructure that are installed in certain buildings. This is all stuff I'm not well versed on, but that's what the experts
Right.
would know, are certified in, and can answer questions
I'm
on.
with you, Jason. I think having a conversation with them, have them sell it to us, kind of thing, because then we can pick their brains. And,
Just a little bit, he told me about our new meters.
yeah, I already, I
had no idea. So maybe there's more going on.
So do we get paid for putting that water back on the grid?
I wish.
The only thing I'm not opposed to it at all. I think it's a step in the right direction. I just would like more clarification that we're not spending $150,000 for them to come back to tell us every house needs to have a backflow preventer. I'd like more than just that. Because we could make that right now and say, hey, yeah, let's look into backflow preventers and make an ordinance and let's get them put in.
Understandable, and that's so that ends up being an option. Is in the long run, we could just say every home needs one. We also, like I said, there's obviously different places, there's different levels of likelihood that it could cause a problem in the system. So like say residential without secondary treatment, which is most of them now, because no one has water softener anymore, is considered a low risk, and we as a city, as an ordinance, we could decide they don't need a backflow preventer. with say a building with a fire suppression system or other water uses other than residential, strictly drinking water uses, needs to have a backflow preventer per what the ordinance that we put in place. There are options like that. I don't think what's gonna happen is, and then they just come back and say, great, now that we've done the survey, let's put in all your backflow preventers, because we decided, because that's really gonna be a city level decision based on information and what works for us. It's not, I guess what I'm getting at is it's really up to the city in the end, how we want to handle the program going forward. These guys are an extension of the team that allows us to do it.
Yeah, I think this is sticker shock and just being so nuanced for our area. It's something that's not commonly, recognized as being an issue, obviously. So I mean, I agree with you. Have somebody from HydroCorp themselves come and give us a rundown. We can make that happen.
Somehow. I mean, what's your thoughts, Casey?
This is a great project.
Yeah.
I know that Jared's on top of this. He knows all this stuff real good. The only part that I don't like about it is the fee now.
Yeah.
That we're gonna, just want the residents to pay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, we're gonna put, I guess we don't have a problem at all. You want a sewer line, for an out-of-state, I guess, guy, just want to pay for it, but yet now we want the residents now.
I don't get it twisted. I'm not
Yeah,
for or
pay for
against
it,
it yet.
So yeah, I would just like it, I guess, a way, I guess, here's stuff that we don't have to, I guess, raise up the rates, I guess, so.
When you had that meeting with them, Casey,
Yep.
how did you feel about that meeting?
It's a good thing. What I'm gonna say on this is if it's, I guess, like mandated here, I would think that there'd be, I mean,
Some
yeah,
state funding
Yeah,
or
yeah,
federal funding
yeah.
available?
Yeah, come in to help. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah.
I've
So-
thought of that too, if
But-
they start mandating it.
yeah,
Yeah. That's a good point.
I guess my thought on this, is if we could, like drag our feet on it, just start out small, kind of, spread this out over, like 8 years or 10 years or something like that.
Jared, you mentioned a little bit ago about, and I know people like softwares. For example, somebody that might have the new meter on their house that has a water softener, what kind of backflow reading is there versus somebody that does not have one?
So it's not so much water softeners, but a softener would be considered a secondary treatment device, which just means they're doing something to the water after the initial treatment.
It's just contamination.
Softener does not increase backflow. Softener also wouldn't likely be a source of contaminant, but there are other options, kinds of secondary treatment, like if they need, pool's not a great example, but we changed the chemistry of the pool quite a bit from what our water coming out of our pipes is. We adjust the pH quite a bit, and the chlorine level is entirely different. We throw in some different chemicals as well to control, like chlorine residuals. So it's treatment like that, say if someone is treating a pool and they leave their garden hose in it, pressure drops in the system, they put it back that way. Who wants to drink pool water?
Well, it sounds like we all do anyway. So use a Brita pitcher. I don't know.
And again, I'm just asking these questions because I'm,
Asking questions.
but I would really like to see, and I'm not saying the experts haven't, with Casey and Monty and you, it's just, Yeah, I know. There's not,
If everyone kind of agrees they would like to actually hear from HydroCorp themselves, they'd be more than happy to, put on a presentation for the
Right.
full commission. That's nothing they're opposed to, nothing they haven't already offered to do. I just didn't take them up on it, because I thought it would be
No, I got
easy,
it.
thought it would be easy enough, explaining it with the little group of people who were in on the initial meeting, and then meeting with them twice a month on updates on.
and these guys are out of where again?
I was thinking it's Wisconsin, that's what I thought, but maybe I'm wrong on that.
Then
Troy, Michigan.
Michigan.
that's,
Well, I wouldn't mind hearing from them. I don't think it's anything we have to approve right away. You know, we can
Right.
drag our feet a little bit, get a little more information. None of us are saying no.
Right.
And, yeah, and like Casey said, I mean, who knows, it may become a state mandated thing, thusly, there might be some funds that come into play sooner than later, who knows?
I'd also like to throw out there the clean water program through the state revolving fund. This would most likely qualify for any grants through that, so that is a funding option.
So the one that Jared said last meeting that might be going away, so, or no, during that, when we have the wish list, is that the one he was talking about?
There's talk about reducing the amount of the share, yeah. Where the state used to use 60%, they're talking about doing only 25%.
25%. So in that aspect, if we could get that, maybe, I don't know if they would pay 60% of the survey, you know. But, I mean, it might be worth a shot before they do reduce it, cause Jared, did say in that meeting, if we can think of anything, now is the time to try to put in for it before they do reduce it.
So if we set up a meeting with them and see what's available as far as if that would qualify
Well,
with,
I would say we set up a hydrocore first.
That's what I'm saying.
Decide
Yeah,
if we
that's what I
wanna
mean.
go that way, and then if we do, we
look
can
into the,
maybe put in for a grant for the survey. If
I'd
we
be-
get 60% of it covered, I mean.
I'd be more comfortable with that.
That would reduce it. I mean, Monty proposed $3 per customer per month over the 5-year period. That would dramatically reduce that.
Mhm.
You'd be down to on just over $1, I suppose.
Yep.
Yeah.
$1.30 ish per customer for a 5-year period. I don't think anybody would really have an issue with that.
And who knows, maybe Jared Money might, yeah, maybe he's got input on things, maybe he'd be like, oh, hey, yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
Well, if nothing else, he mentioned the DWSRF tonight too, as far as doing the questionnaire, if that's something this could fall under.
Yeah, I specialize more in the clean water and the wastewater revolving funds. It may fall in other programs too, or infrastructure improvement, community improvements, kind of things. But I just know that I think the clean water revolving fund would be excited to see that kind of program come across the desk, just because not a lot of, it seems like not a lot of places in North Dakota are trying that specific thing, and most people are just trying to get main lines replaced or that kind of thing
You bring up a good point. They might be pretty excited to see a program like that started in a smaller community in North Dakota.
yeah.
I don't know if it's Bismarck or Fargo or something like that have something going on.
I don't know, if they do have some kind of backflow prevention program on books, they obviously handle it themselves within the department, but to what extent they actually have a program, I don't know, because I haven't talked to anyone about that as far as larger cities. I've done my research for people our size, what's generally recommended, And that's what got me to this point.
Anything else, guys? Is anybody opposed to having hydrochloric come do a dog and pony show?
No,
No,
See if you can set something up with them, either if it's over Zoom or in person.
It should be very doable.
Perfect, good, thank you. All right, we're gonna move on to garbage routes.
More discussion. Do you want to continue doing the rural garbage routes, or if we want to seek public input before we make any decisions? Set it up at a couple of meetings.
I would like the meetings, I like that. Get some input.
Only thing I'd like to add though, is that I think we should, I guess, add, you know, like the garbage truck itself though,
Yeah,
into that,
for sure.
into those numbers, you know.
Wear,
Like
more
a
wear and tear on it.
Thing,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, like a third of it, you know.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm leaning towards like a half-mile buffer around Hazen, and then that's it. But with notice months out of the limitations of service, I think the cost, I agree with Casey, I think the cost of, and Dave as well, with the cost of what we pay from the city for the service, the numbers don't work out.
Do you want
And also, to echo what Dave said, the safety factor of them going so far in the wintertime and then working, I'm not sure the liability, the cost, the time for that service. And there's other services available, other vendors that could do that service.
Yeah, I'm with you guys on that. I mean, the numbers don't, like you said, they don't add up. Since we're gonna provide ample offer notice anyways, I think we should also give opportunity for anybody to come in to speak up if we, I don't know, set aside a slot of time for a couple meetings in the future, and just so that's there and available if anybody wants to voice anything.
We could do one in October, and then maybe one in December with a possible service change, January 1st, or about that time.
I like that. Do we have to make a motion for that? Okay. I like that.
and that gives several months of people getting notice of it, and unfortunately, it's something that I think that we need to, strongly look at doing.
I mean, yeah, it's gonna have to, I'm gonna be straight up, it's gotta be a pretty compelling argument as to
Right,
why we just don't move forward with the decision of
Right.
a half-mile buffer or whatever, but maybe there's one out there, who knows?
is there anything we can put out, Monty, like, I don't know if we do an ad in social media, I really don't know how a guy would put that out there.
I'll visit with Dan from the paper over there
See
about,
if he's got a way to put a catchy jingle ad or
and
something.
I'll update these numbers. I'm assuming to include the truck based on the miles it's used just for the rural route. This is about 25 miles a week.
Well, I would say that doing stuff, you know, we spend about a day, right?
Yep.
Each week.
And that's in this
That-
cost.
Yeah. Well, but then that would be then, I guess a third of the truck would be then
Nice.
used.
Quantify it that way.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
you're talking not so much just wear and tear on it, but replacement.
Yeah.
Or replacement
That
cost.
makes
Yeah.
sense, yeah.
How many
Can
days
you-
a week do we pick up garbage?
3, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Well, then we might be down to 2.
Monty, can you explain why there's so many different prices?
I have not got a real answer on that.
Okay,
Some of these have to do with dumpster sizes.
Yep. okay. Yeah, you know, like, I know like my dad's got a dumpster, so he's gonna pay more than somebody with just a garbage can. But I mean, that's 6 different charges. I can't imagine there's 6 different size cans
At
out
least
there, is
4.
there?
There'll be at least 4.
The green cans are all the same size, but
Yeah.
there's like 3 or 4 different size dumpsters all about.
So that would give you 5. You know, then I know like right to the west of my dad's place there, they all share that one dumpster, so I don't know if that's broke down in here, or if that's considered one.
Is there rural residents out there that have 2 of the green cans? Would that trigger a different fee or no?
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would basically double their fee.
I mean, that might be.
I'll do some more digging on it.
Thanks, Monty.
And part of it, of why we're kinda asking out at the shop, you know, to eliminate the rural, just the workforce. Years ago, we used to get all kinds of college kids or whatever applying, we'd get 4 summer help, which we could rotate on the back of the garbage truck and do other things.
Right.
Now it's the full-time crew, the full-time people going out and doing it, and it just leaves us really short-handed
Well, the
for some of
cost
our stuff, so if we eliminated some of that, we would have more time in town, and a few things could get done probably in more of a timely
And-
manner.
And cost of went up, let's face it, on everything, so.
If we got rid of rule, do you think it'd be realistic to go down to 2 days a week? Do you think the crew could get half
I
the
think we could
town
pretty
done
much
in a
get
day?
it all on 2 days a week. You'd have to do
You'd have to do your
3 for some of the
dumpsters,
dumpsters,
Yeah.
like for hospital, grocery
Krause's.
store, restaurant, or whatever, but a few of those like that, you'd maybe be looking at an hour, maybe 2 hours. Then the rest of the time would be back to regular forestry.
But that could be 2 guys run out in a truck and do
Right, you
dumpsters
wouldn't
for a
need a
couple
whole
hours.
3-man crew.
Okay, that's something else to weigh in there too, if you, I mean, if you drive through town, we desperately need some weed whacking done around trees and park benches and stuff like that, it's getting behind, you know, not trying to knock you guys at all, Dave, but with the storm cleanup and all the moisture in June, it's just been a backup of stuff. I would imagine that would dramatically help out if we could go to garbage 2 days a week. Do we wanna set a date for that first meeting?
October. Do we set it just for during regular meeting?
Yeah,
Say
that's
so.
what I was thinking.
Do you wanna do October or the last meeting in September?
Let's do the first meeting in October.
Meeting in October. Okay. Alright, on to new business, preliminary budget and budget hearing schedule. Monty?
I need to report to the county auditor before August 10th what day we will be conducting our final budget hearing. And it has to be after September 7th and not later than October 7th. So generally, we would do it like the October 5th meeting at 6 p.m. Even if we start at 5:30, we just break our regular meeting to open the public hearing at 6 p.m. and go from there.
Oh, we should be back to 5:30 meetings on October, right?
Yep.
How many more 6 meetings do we have?
One.
Just one, okay.
Would, do you think we should do it that second meeting in September in case there is any changes, and it gives a guy a little more time? Or do you not?
I mean, we can discuss it 20 times. If there's changes recommended at the October 5th meeting, I just make them and report them to the
Gotcha.
council.
Yeah, okay. I'm good, remember that, October 5th.
Just do it October 5th then.
Okay, so for October 6th, 5th, sorry. Okay, sorry.
Motion.
Oh, need a motion for that.
So moved.
A motion. And a second. Need roll call or
No, just
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say the sign. Alright, motion passes. On public comments, any public comments? Hearing none, we'll move on to approval of the bills. I'll make a motion to approve bills as presented.
Second.
A motion and a second. Discussion? No discussion, roll call?
Weidrich,
Aye.
Stern,
Aye.
Folker,
Aye.
Hack,
Aye.
Shipro.
Alright,
Bills approved. And adjourn meeting.
before you adjourn, just so you guys know that there are 38 large national incident management teams, and currently there's 30 assigned to large incidents. So if you do the math, if they rotate every 14 days, that doesn't add up. Just kind of understand the situation we're currently in.
Yeah.
And it is unexplainable. That's all I gotta say. So I'll be home tomorrow. I'll be out of town the rest of the week and the weekend, but I'll be back home Sunday.
Travel safe.
All right, guys, thanks. I appreciate it.
Alright, thank you, Jesse.
All right.
Adjourn the meeting.